The new skill Demon's Resonance combines with some cards from the new box to make a powerful deck. I used it to reach King of Games. If you ever wanted to play a good Jack Atlas deck, then now is the time. The skill is what ties this deck together. To use it, you must have a total of 10 Fiend and or Resonator monsters in your main deck, and the extra deck must only consist of Dragon type synchros. Considering that Crimson already locks you into Dark Dragon synchros anyway, neither of these requirements on the skill are asking for too much. Once per turn, you can reveal one Res monster in your hand, and then return any card from your hand to the deck. In doing so, you may then add one level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand. The effects of that Fiend monster cannot be activated that turn. However, if you were to search for Wandering King Wildwind with this skill, you would still be able to special summon it from the hand with its effects. This is because this part of the effect does not activate. You have to wait a turn anyway before searching with the graveyard effects, so the card works perfectly with the skill. Wildwind is not the only good card to search here of course, since the skill lets you add any level 4 or lower Fiend monster. You cannot activate the effects of a monster that turn, but there are monsters to search where this will not matter. For example, Doomcaliber Knight is a searchable monster negation. Doomcaliber Knight going even with Steelswarm Roach is also very helpful, since Roach is a big threat for this deck. Another good card to search with the skill is Sphere Karibo. You can activate the effects the turn you search it, but the effect of Sphere Karibo is always used in the opponent's turn anyway. Being used for a similar reason, I also have Skullmeister. Having the option to search this card against a deck like Blue Eyes or Fire King is very useful. Skullmeister is also level 4. What makes this important is that a level 4 monster is needed to make a Red Rising Dragon with one of the Resonators. Another good level 4 monster that works well in this deck is Witch of the Black Forest, because when you synchro with it, you can search for a monster. I don't use Witch in this build, though my reason for doing so isn't because I think she's bad, it's rather because I couldn't make space. A lot of people like to use Luna. Similar to Wildwind, if you search her with the skill, you can still special summon her, since the effect that summons herself does not activate, though I'm not as big a fan of this card as many people are. I find that most of the time if you're searching this card with the skill, searching Wildwind does the same thing but better. There are of course some scenarios where searching this card is better than searching Wildwind, though personally I don't feel like there's enough scenarios where searching Luna is useful. That being said, I do not think the card is bad, and I do of course recommend giving it a try for yourself. Red Sprinter is also a card that I do not use. It's always a weird card to search because your field needs to be empty to use the effects, and it doesn't really add much to your turn 1 play. If you want to counter cards like Kiteroid, Karma Cut and Divine Wrath, something you can try is Goblin of Greed. When it comes to these cards in the deck, I feel as though it's important to evaluate how good it is to search them with the skill, since their purpose is to give the deck better toolbox options. Crimson is the best res to start with, so I'm using 3 with 3 res cool. For red res, I'm only using 2. You pull it from the deck most of the time with Crimson and cool, so I don't think the third copy is super important. The only other res that I would play would be Synchron with Black Rose. Black Rose is a way of forcing back row. Or Dark, because otherwise the 2 card combo does not do at least 4000 damage. However, that would only work into an empty field. The other cards of the archetype don't really support the playstyle too well. For example, this card does nothing going first, and even going second, you already clear their monsters with Dark End, and their back row is going to be flipped regardless, trying to interrupt you. I do not think this card is very good. Red when specialed can give you a lot of life points, which lets the deck use Solemn Scolding. I use 3 copies, though 3 might be too much. However, it's not hard to resolve to, as long as your opponent doesn't stop you from using the effects of red. For back row removal I have Tunade. Other good options include Lance, MST and Cosmic. Then for the 20th card, I wanted something that could deal with Steelswarm Roach, so I went with Chalice. Other cards you can play here include Vortex and Offerings. If you have Book of Moon, I would recommend using that. I did not use Book of Moon on stream to show those that don't have Book of Moon that the card is not needed. You need at least 2 Red Rising, and the third one feels important. Summoning 2 is not hard, sometimes you even summon 2 in a single turn. Because of this, it means if you only have 2, you will struggle to repair your field. You maybe don't need 3 Rising if you are using Coral. 2 Dark End also feels important. Because of the skill, there are a lot of combos where you will have Whirlwind, Crimson, and any level 4 monster. As you can see in the right of the screen, this is a combo that leads to you summoning 2 Dark End Dragon, which is a very common way to OTK your opponents. Also, if you only have 1 Dark End Dragon, you may find yourself in a tough spot against some decks if your opponent destroys your only Dark End Dragon. Something else you can play is Infernity Doom Dragon. This card lets you OTK more often. Red Dragon Archfiend is normally what you summon instead of Dark End Dragon if your opponent has no monsters, or if they have a lot of monsters in defense modes. And it also works well with the last card in the extra deck, which for me felt like it was between 2 cards, and I switched between them throughout the stream. One of them being Red Nova Dragon, and the other one being Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. Red Nova Dragon makes the deck more resilient to cards which destroy, for example like Treacherous. Also, its attack points can reach very high numbers. Reaching 4000 attack and beyond is an effective way of playing around Veil. Bane is much easier to summon. It is 2 levels lower, and you are able to use Dark End Dragon to summon it, whereas Red Nova Dragon needs Red Dragon Archfiend to be double tuned. If Bane successfully deals damage, it can summon Crimson and Red, though the main thing it has over Nova is being much easier to summon. Player preference does come into play here when evaluating which one is better to use. Personally, I am leaning more towards Bane. If you have both cards, I would recommend giving both a try. Ideally, I would love to use both, but the extra deck space is too tight. It's also important to bear in mind that different builds will have different extra decks. And now for gameplay. You're welcome, thank you for being here. Uh-oh, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Buster Blader. Oh no. They're all dragons. I'm going to set a monster and then set Solomon Prey. Yeah, Skullmaster Beatdown, let's go. I'm pretty sure that they didn't have Buster Blader in their hand, because if they did, they would have fused on my turn there, right? Them having DNA Surgery doesn't actually matter much in this matchup, because this is all dragon anyway, right? So, but I'm pretty sure that they don't have a Buster Blader, and that's what's important. Oh, they can... Oh. Oh, they can search for that. Oh no. So they can't fuse into Swordsman, right? Because it has to be Buster Blader, so... Synchro for 6. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm good to go now. Summon this. Effects. Gain life points. I'll go for this, because it plays better around Destiny Draw. We'll do this at Chalice. Yep, it was a Kite Okay. I'm playing Doomcow because the skill searches it. I'm in like a bad spot kind of if they draw into Buster Blader is the issue. I'll make this over making Dark Ends. Because I'd rather hold the Dark End for later middle. They have a damage step card, that is probably like the quick play spell. Set. Oh! Let's search first. Grenades. Let's go. Goated. Set. Battle phase. Attack. Nice. Whew, there we go. GG. Oh boy, is this Roach Bouncer? Yep. Okay. What I can do is go Special Crimson, Special Whirlwind, Attack Roach, Damage Step, Chalice skill. Because I think Scolding isn't very good with this hand. Put back this. So we go with this. Special. Normal summon. Oh no, it's like their own... Oh boy, okay. It's like their own Chalice or Lance or something, okay. It could be Lance. I think it's worth doing Chalice anyway, just to trade with the Lance, because we've already committed to the attack, I guess. Jeez, okay, it's a damage step cards. Oh boy. I was thinking like Offerings or Book of Moon, but wasn't expecting that. I guess I trade with the Doomcowl and the Roach. So, like, despite their opening play, I'm not in actually a terrible spot, really. Into defense. Ooh, that's actually very, very helpful, because it means that I don't have to use the skill. I'm gonna banish this here. Go into... Is there delays? No, okay, cool. We're gonna bring back the Crimson, or at least attempt to. They do Bounds there, but I go normal summon Crimson. Doo-doo-doo. Perfect. I shall summon Reds. Red will gain us 2/7. Synchro with this and this. Summoning this from deck. Having Doom there would have been lethal, that's for sure. Nice, there we go, cool. On a mat. Oh boy. I'm gonna put back a Trunade for a Doom Cow. Could also be a Zexal deck as well, that's very true. YouTube. Bring back this in defense. Dark End with this and this. And pass. Just on a mat. No, like, they definitely did this to force Doom Caliber. They have nothing. Oh. Pass done. Searching for Crimson. We do this first. Synchro with this and this. Special. I can have game over Sphere Creeper if I search for Skullmeister. Is that worth it? Or for Wild King, rather? Yeah, let's do that, let's do that. One more time. Red, Dragon, Archfiend. Let's go. Reveal. Put back Trunades. For Wild King, sorry, not for Skullmeister. Okay, that is GG. There we go. Red Dragon Archfiend. Let's go. That was a fun one.